Hello guys, hope you are doing great. So today we will see what is flakes and how we can use flakes to make a perfect grid. Before flakes, we used like float or a display line block or position to make the grading system to make some grades, some tables. But nowadays we have option like display flex or grid is another system which is particularly made to make some grades. So we will know about grades in my later videos, but now we will look for flexbox. So let me make index.html under a flex folder. Okay, so now let's write the basic thing, that is the head and body part, and in the title let's write flexbox, and let's take 3 or 4 divs. Okay, first container, and under the container let's take um, item dot item 1, and let's take 5 divs. Okay, and let's change the names of the second class. Now let's write something over here like item 1 and copy and paste it to 5 times, I mean 4 times, and change the numbers to oops oops 3, 4 and 5. So now let's write the css. You can use another file for css, then link that file. For now I will use the css in the head part. It will be so easy to understand for you because all those things in the single page. So that's why in the style section let's write the container, and the height can be like 100 vh, and the color, let's choose a light gray, and that's it. Now choose the item class, and let's make it a width of 20% and the height of 200 pixel, maybe you can choose anything. So, and the color, sorry, we need to change the color for every item. So let's write like this: item nth child odd. The color can be like color, I mean not color, it's a background, sorry, and background color should be like light sea green, and dot item nth child for even numbers, the background color can be light sky blue. It's actually make like the odd numbers would be light sea green like 1, 3, 5, and the even numbers 2, 4 would be like light sky blue. Okay, so let's open the live server. So you can see all those divs are like in the block because we didn't use the flex yet. Okay, and the text are on the top left corner, and the color is like we need to change the text color also. So text color can be white, and yeah, I think this looks good. So let's make it one thing. The margin and padding should be 0 because you guys can see there is some space over here, and in every side like there is some space. So we need to set margin equals to 0 and padding equals to 0 so that we don't get that kind of space. So now you can see it's there is no space, and the items containing the block space, you can see, you can just inspect this thing and you can see all those items contain some blocks. So if you use the display flex, it will automatically converted into an inline block, and all those items will come in a single row. Okay, so let me show you this thing. You need to write the display flex in the parent class. Okay, so you can see these items are as a child of the container class. So container is used as a parent class. So write display flex in the container class. Okay, because you need to write the display flex in the parent class only. Display flex, and after saving you can see these all the items are in a single row right now. So let's set a border for the container so that we can understand that how what is the highest space it contains. So border can be like 1 pixel, solid and black. So I guess 1 pixel is very less. We'll make it 3 pixel so that we can see properly. Yep. So you can see there is a border around the box, and these 5 divs are inside the box. And the main thing is these all are responsive. You don't need to set any size of these boxes. These all are responsive. If you just like make the screen smaller, it will automatically get a response according to the size. You can see no matter what is the screen size, it will automatically get resized. That means it is not maintaining the width which you already gave, that is 20%. So first of all it will take the 20% width, and whenever the screen get smaller than the normal, it will resize automatically. Okay, so for example, let's write is like 100 pixel. So you can see this is the screen size. Let me make it 200 pixel. So this is the div size by normal. Okay, 200 pixel in width and 200 pixel in height. Okay, so if you just smaller the screen, it will be as same as 200 pixel as previously. Okay, so but when you come like smaller than 200 into 5, that means 1000 pixel. When you come smaller than 1000 pixel, it will resize automatically. You can see it is resizing automatically. That means it is not maintaining the 200 pixel size. Okay, so this is a good thing. So there are some more properties in the flex. So let me show you those things. The first property is flex direction. Okay, so right here flex, let me increase the size a bit so that you can understand properly. Flex direction, and so you can see there are like column reverse, row reverse. So by default it is according to the row. You can see all the divs are according to the row, and if you set column wise, it means all the div will be according to the column. Okay, these divs are one by one according to the column. And if you make like column reverse, this actually like reverse the whole divs. Previously the item 1 was in the top and item 5 was in the bottom, but now the item 1 is in the bottom and item 5 is in the top. Similarly, if you write like this row inverse, it will just move the item 1 and the extreme light position and the item 5 according to the size, okay, at the left position. So if you just make it the 20%, 20%, it will be like this. Okay, item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5 in the reverse order. So by default it is in the row position. Okay, flex direction is in the row position. By default it contains row. Now there is another property, flex wrap. So flex wrap equals to wrap. Okay, so it will basically do, previously we saw that all the sizes of the boxes resizing according to the screen size. No matter whatever size you have given, the div size will be resized according to the screen. Okay, But suppose you don't need to resize the boxes, you need a fixed box size. Okay, so for that we need to use the flex wrap colon then wrap. Okay, it will basically wrap the whole contents. Whenever the skin size gets smaller, the box size won't get smaller. So you can see if I move to other lab, it is doing nothing because I gave 20%. 20% means this 20% of the whole screen, so it will be resizing. If we need the fixed size, we need to use like the fixed parameters like pixels, centimeter, meter, like this. Okay, so make it 200 pixel, and now you can see this is the normal size. If the skin gets smaller like this, the last box will come in the second row, and if the screens get more smaller, the second last box will come in the second row. Similarly, the third last box come in the second row. If there is no space, it will come through the third row. So actually the size of the boxes are same, so there is no resizing in the boxes. Okay, now there is another property, flex flow. Okay, flex flow property is a shorthand property for setting both the flex direction and flex wrap. So let's use this thing, flex flow, and let's write the flex direction first. So the sequence is flex direction would be in the first position and the flex wrap would be in the second position. So flex direction can be row, and flex wrap is wrap, and you can see it is in the row, and if you decreasing the skin size, it is in the flex wrap equals to wrap. Okay, so this is not getting resizing. So now we will use the justify content and align item property. These are the mostly useful property in the display flex. So the justify content is actually used to align the flex items in the horizontal position. Okay, so let's write like this, justify. Okay, justify content, and it is in the center. So you can see this comes in the center of the screen. Okay, so now if we want these items at the extreme right corner, we will use like flex end. It will basically do like converting all the items to the extreme right corner, and if you use the flex start, it will basically do the flex items at the left side. Okay, according to the horizontal line. Now suppose you want to move the flex items in the vertical line, so for that we will use the align items center. So it will basically do like move the boxes at the center of the screen according to the vertical line. Similarly, as above, we can use the flex start and flex end property. So let's use that flex start. It will make the boxes at the top side, and if you use the flex end, it will move the boxes on the bottom side. Okay, so in this way you can move the boxes, move the items according to the parent size. So if you want a perfect center, you don't need to write positions, top, left, and whatever you are using. You can just write the justify content center and align item centers. So let's use that. Flex the align item centers and the justify content is center. So let me show you this thing. So the items are at the center of the screen. So you can see these item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4 and 5. These are at the top left corner of these particular item boxes. So now suppose we want to move this text in the center of the particular divs. Okay, so for that we need to see what is the parent class. So you can see this item is the parent class of the text, right? So for that we need to set the dot item as a display flex. Okay, display flex, and we need to just write the justify content center and align items center. Okay, now you can see this text is moved at the center of its parent class. Okay, now suppose we want some space in between the boxes. We can use the justify content and align content. So if we want some space on the top or bottom size, we will use the align content, because align means vertical size. And if you want some space in the left or right side, then we will use the justify content, because justify content gives some space according to the horizontal line. Okay, so we are already using justify content, so let's remove the center thing, and we will use some space around. So you can see it makes some space around the boxes. That means in the top, right, left, bottom. That means it makes some space at the each side of the box. Okay, so suppose we don't want this larger space in between the middle boxes. We want the similar kind of space uh, in every side. So for that we will use the space evenly. Okay, space evenly make the equal amount of space in every side. So you can see there is an equal amount of space in each of the side of the boxes. And suppose we don't need to give the space at the left and right corner. We want the item 1 and item 5 to be attached on the left and right skin respectively. We just want some space between the two item divs. Okay, so for that we will use space between. Okay, so space between basically do the space between the two items. Now we will be learning about flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis. These are the properties of child element. We will write these properties into the child element, not the parent element. And at the last we will learn about the order of flex. Okay, so you can see container is the parent element and the item is the child element. So we will write the flex grow, flex basis, flex shrink in the child element, that is the item. Okay, so let's write the flex grow. Flex grow, by default it is 0. Before that, let me delete this align item and justify content so that you can understand properly. So now the web page looks like this, and if we write flex grow equals to 0, that is the by default, it will remain same. Okay, and if you write flex grow 1, it will be equally divided into similar ratio. Okay, it will be equally divided into similar ratio. So to understand it better, let's cut it over here, and for the odd items we will set flex grow equals to 1. Okay, and for the even items we will set flex grow equals to 2. So now check the website. So you can understand that FlexGrow 1 means the ratio of odd and even items are 1 is to 2. That means the size of even items is 2 times of the odd items. Okay, so this means it is like equally proportional. The lowest number is the baseline, and whatever you write, it will be that times of the lowest base number. Okay, and now let's see about flex shrink. So let me delete all those things and write it over here, flex grow 1. Okay, so they are all equally divided right now. Now if you just decrease the screen size, you can see these all are also decreasing. That means whatever width you have set, that doesn't work. Okay, but if you set flex shrink, by default it is 1. That means it can shrink. Okay, the size of these boxes are shrinking, right? That means by default it is 1. You can set 1 also. You can see there is no changes happen. Okay, the boxes size also decreasing according to the screen size. But if you change to 0, it will not shrink. Okay, now if you decrease the screen size, it will shrink up to whatever size you have set, that is 200 pixel. Whenever the size of every boxes is the maximum, that is 200 pixel, then it will not shrink. You can see, so in this position every boxes has similar size, that is 200 pixel. Now if you decrease the skin size more, the boxes will not shrink. You can see only the skin size is decreasing, the box sizes are not decreasing, right? So this is all about shrink. Flex shrink has only two properties, that is 1 and 0. That means it work as a boolean form. And lastly there is like flex basis. In this property you can set the width or height of that boxes. I'll explain it later. So let's write to flex basis 200 to not 300, it's 300 pixel, and now save it and remove the flex grow also. Now you can see all the boxes has 300 pixel of width. It is actually whatever you can say width or height depending on the flex direction. By default the flex direction is row, that means flex base is working as a width, okay? But if the flex direction is column wise, then the flex basis will work as a height. So let me show you that. You can write the flex direction in the parent class and column. Now the flex basis will work as a height. You can see 300 pixel is the height of every item. So though the box, I mean the container size is smaller, that's why it is like overlapping the container and it goes outside of the container box. So whatever the by default it is flex direction is 0, okay? So that's why the flex basis will work as a width. So there is a short term, that is simple flex. In simple flex, in simple flex you can write flex grow, flex shrink and flex basis in the same property. First of all you need to write the flex grow, that is suppose I write 1, and then you have to write the flex shrink, that is suppose 1, and at the end of that let's write the flex basis, that is suppose 20%, and you can see it's working fine. And there is one more property, that is simple flex with one number, that is 1, 2 or 3, whatever. That means it will divide every box into that ratio, okay? So only one property means it is working as a flex grow. Suppose I write flex equals to 1 in the odd numbers and flex equals to 2 for the even numbers, okay? And let me save that. You can see the even items are double in size compared to the odd items. So now we will learn about the order. So order means it will order the child elements according to the number, but if you do not put any order of any child element, then it will be in the first position, okay? Let me show you so that you can understand properly. Let me delete all these things, flex grow, and let me write every item as a class, item 1, and let me copy this thing and paste it 5 times. Change the class names, and now suppose I write over here order equals to maybe the item 1 should be in the third position, so I said order 3, and item 2 order 5 suppose, and order 2, and suppose for item 4 I didn't set any order, okay? And for item 5 I said order equals to maybe 4, yeah. So now if you save, the item 4 will be in the first position, okay, no matter whatever order you have set, because we didn't set any order for item 4. So by default it will be in the first position. After that the item 3, item 1, item 5 and item 2, okay? Let me see. So you can see item 4, item 3, item 1, item 5 and item 2. So this is working fine. Now suppose I for item 5 I said I order equals to 1. It will be in the first position, not at the beginning of the items, because at the beginning of the item it will be item 4, because we didn't set any order for item 4. So the item 4 will be in the first position, item 5 will be the second, item 3 will be the third, and item 1 will be the fourth. So you can see item 4, 5, 3, 1 and 2. You can also set as a negative. Before that, let me write some order over here so that you can understand. Order equals to, suppose, 4. Okay, now you can see item 4 is replaced at the fourth position. Okay, now suppose we didn't set any order for these 2 or these 3, and for item 1 we set order equals to -1. Okay, and for item 5 we set order equals to -2, and it will work actually like this. Before that, when we set the order as a positive number, the order were working as a right side of that elements. Okay, we saw we didn't set any order number at item 4, and we set order numbers of the rest of the element, so the rest of the element is work on the right side of item 4, right? But for now, because we set a negative number, it will work on the left side of that items which don't have any order. Okay, so you can see item 2, item 3 and item 4 don't have any order, and item 1 will be the second position and item 5 will be the first position because it is going right to left. Before, in the positive numbers, it is going left to right. Okay, so you can see we set item 5 as a first, item 1 second, then item 2, 3, 4, item 5, item 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this way you can use the order, but this is not actually the most usable thing. You can just rearrange the items in the HTML code. You don't need to pressurize your brain. So this is all about the flex. I hope you learned a lot in this video.